All right, guys, I'm going to talk about three penny stocks that I can see pumping really massive in the short term. These are some of these. There's going to be two China stocks and one United States. So let's get right into the video here. My favorite one is YGMZ. I think obviously this thing can make a monster move up. Granted, it is a China stock, so do keep that in mind. But as you can see, the biggest thing that I see on this thing is one, we had this reverse split, and then this right here was the offering. You know, none of us got in down here. We're literally down at this low here. I got down in this low at like the 8 cent area. And I'm just eyeing to be like, okay, if we come up to this EMA 5, you're looking at a 200% return, and then the EMA 10 is a 600% return. Not saying it's going to go to the 10, but it is due for the 10 at the same time. All right, it's a possibility. The last time we touched the 10 was right here at 1106. We are getting to 1 month mark. So YGMZ, now you might ask, well, why you like it? It looks like a falling knife, right? Well, some of my biggest gains that I do are from this strategy. I look to buy towards the end of the bell, and as you can see, every time market opens, what happens? It drops even further, and you get a monster discount. So I got in at this 8 cent region, and if it decides not to pump, then I will get out pre-market and take a minor loss. But I've done this enough times where, you will wake up sometimes and you'll be up over 50%. These things can just go, out of nowhere. These things can just start to randomly pump, right? Here's this EMA 200 on the 15 minutes. So we do know on an intraday, we are, in a monster downtrend. This was the big offering that happened. As you can see, it went a lot lower than you can imagine. We're already back down to 8 cents. So we're going to have a dead cat bounce. It's just a matter of when, right? I don't want to be that person that just keeps, holding and holding, and then you just get wrecked. I do think, allocate money that you're okay with losing because it is a penny stock. If you put, a couple $1,000s in, you can make an outrageous amount of money, or you just lose a couple $100, right? So if you put $5,000 into this, a 10% loss is like $500. But if this thing pumps up over 50%, you're up over two bands easily. All right. So that's what I'm seeing with this one. High risk, but monster reward you can get in. Get out. Just don't hold this during the market bell for all these pennies that I'm going to mention. The next Chinese stock that I want to look at that I can make a monster amount of money is VSA. Remember this one right here had an over 59%. This pumped up over almost 80% on this day here. These are the kind of pumps you can get. Those little small losses you get can be recovered in a blink of an eye here. This is on over 80%. So as you can see, this thing had a gap down, 1, 2. I mean, we were coming to this 5. It actually barely missed it. We know we're going to come to this 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Remember my rule with China stocks? I like to wait over 13 days, start to playing them, and this thing has monster room to that EMA 5. You're looking at a solid 30% move here. I think this is a really good one too. Any day you can get a nice little base hit on this one. No big deal. This could make it, like I said, put, a couple thousand in, boom, you wake up with, a good sizable gain. And these things can go way higher. Pre-market, what I've seen with these pennies, they go way up, and then usually the market hours, it comes back to reality. So that's why with this strategy, you want to get in early, okay? You want to get in early, and then let's look at the KDJ. This is sitting at a 3.75. I forgot to show you on YGMZ what this is showing at. I'm only looking at the K value. So ignore the D and J. This is sitting at a 1.96. I repeat, this is literally the lowest you'll probably ever see. I am not giving up on this stock. Like the minute if this does not do well and this goes down, if it just, let's say it just stays here, I'll take that minor loss. I'll get back in at a low. We'll say this comes back down. I'll wait towards the end of the day, and I will get my monster gain on YGMZ, just like I got my monster gains on a lot of these pennies. Now, a lot of these pennies I made monster money, like Ruby. Remember Ruby back in the day? This thing had this monster move up. It was due for that 10. EMA 5. I mean, we gave that 30% like VSA, and then it even went up over 100%. But you have to get in these things early, okay? I can play countless of times of what I did. INHD is the next one. This one I rinsed and repeated a lot. This one is sitting at a very low K value too, 1.59. That is insanely oversold. You're looking at this yellow line. That is what all I use. We'll get rid of this now to see the full chart. extremely oversold. Now we have 4 days not touching the 5. I'm playing this at the end of the day because I know this thing is a pre-market pumper, so that's why I like this thing. This thing has a room up to like 70-80% return to that EMA 5, and let's say it decides to go to the 10, you're looking at 179%. The reason why this strategy is so good is because a lot of people have bought way up in here. This thing has went up all the way up over 345, and there's people that bought way up in here, average down here again, just to be down another 43%, down 16%, down another 1%, down 20%, and now down 15%. This thing has had a dramatic oversold. It's just tremendously oversold. It is in the United States. We had actually some news here. They partnered with Megabyte Solutions on Web B2B Marketplace. And actually, YGMZ had some news too. I wanted you to know. Honestly, I'm not really a news type of player. It's just kind of nice to see. Launches AI robot dog with advanced interactive features. But I promise you, if you do this strategy, you'll make a freaking ton of money. This is how I like it. I don't like, honestly, every strategy is you're not gonna win on every strategy. All right, you just gotta understand to take the losses. Like I took a loss on YGMZ this morning, and I got back in at a 25% discount. If I would have held through that, I would have been down another 25%. So with this strategy, I'm only looking for stocks that have lots of volume. INHD, when it pumped, it had 339 volume, and it's still over 10 million. It has to have really decent volume. Look at VSA, the volume is over 10 million too. YGMZ is definitely over 10 million. It's sitting at 42 million. So that's why I think these 3 stocks can make a monster move at any time, any day, pre-market or after hours, and these can pump big. So we'll see what happens. We're kind of catching up. We're just kind of flatlined. That's totally fine. Wait till around 7:30 in the morning. I'm Eastern. If it doesn't do much, then you'll be like, okay, let's just say it's right here. Let's say you're down like 3, 4, 5%. Take the loss, move on. All right. But I'm telling you, when this pumps, it's going to go up like 50% in a couple minutes, and you're going to be like, dang, I'm glad I took that. Sometimes sometimes it runs without you too. But with this strategy, like INHD, if it decides to do nothing, guess what? I take it out, and it's probably going to go market hours, and then boom, guess what? I get another discount, whereas a lot of other people are just backholding and backholding and backholding. This strategy prevents you from backholding, all right? And then lastly, VSA has been known to pump. They are due for their next rally. We had a monster pump here to 30 cents. We came all the way back down to 9 cents. We're getting very close to this lower band. You might ask, well, what is that? That's my KC line. That just tells you how, if it touches that band, then you're extremely oversold, okay? Most of these, I don't think are touching it. Yeah, because they had the big move up. If you have this big move up, it's going to expand the band, so you're not going to touch it. But VSA is at that lower band area where I really like it. So these are the 3 stocks I'm trading around like 5 minutes before the bell. So if you look at 5 minutes before the bell, you would see like, okay, boom, you get in, right up in here, and then it goes up right here. So you're sitting right here. Yeah, you're down a little bit, but like I said, these things in a blink of an eye can go up monster. Now, where do you look to take profit? Me personally, I like to see around that over 10% mark. Scale them out. Let's say you're in 1,000 shares and it's up 10%. Take out 50% and hold that rest. But a lot of these things are going to happen so much that it'll pump over 10%, way over it, and you're like, dang, this is a nice thing. And then what I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look at the 1 minute time frame. If I'm showing lots of momentum and we're actually uptrending, like this EMA 200, let me show you on YGMZ. If this EMA 200 is at the very bottom, you're in an uptrend. You can probably ride this out quite a bit. So I'm going to be watching that. If we touch this upper band with strong volume, this EMA 200 is at the very bottom, I can look at my regular strategy that I would do for day trading. I'm like, okay, let this puppy ride. Because remember, if you're catching a bottom reversal, you want to make some big freaking money because you're taking the risk to take a shot at the very bottom. All right. A lot of people are scared to trade like this, but penny stocks, you have to, because once they pump, they're going to come right back down. We've seen it happen time and time again. YGMZ makes a monster pump right in here. Boom. Goes up over 100%. You would have made tons of money. With our strategy, we shouldn't be holding throughout this, and we should be taking gains as it goes, and then it just comes tumbling down. So these are the 3 penny stocks that I like. If I'm going to take a shot at, I like these a lot. YGMZ, number 1 penny stock. INHD, number 2 penny stock. Gorgeous setup, United States company. And then finally, I'm going to give the go light on VSA. I've been waiting this one out. This one looks solid opportunity. Any moment it can pump 50% pre-market or after hours. That is a good setup too, VSA. We'll see what this one does. All right. But remember, guys, stick to the rules. I don't care if you have to take a 5-10% loss. Stick to the rules. Come back in for another discount. And because I promise you, it's going to go to that EMA 5. Guarantee it. But sometimes they get a little more stubborn and they drag it out. And what happens is this EMA 5 is going to be dragged out. So we know the biggest return to the EMA 5 is YGMZ. Granted, it has a gap, so indicators lag. They take longer. But with this strategy, I know not touching this EMA 5. Actually, let's count these out. I'll show you. This right here did not touch the 5. I know it looks like it did, but it did not. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No doubt YGMZ is the best setup. Now, you might be asking, well, why didn't I take YGMZ here? Because there was no volume. When they did the reverse split here, there's no volume. When there's no volume, you do not take the stock. It needs to be over 10 million volume for me to be interested in it. And this is right in here is when I saw it, okay, we had this drop down on the offering, wait a couple days, and then boom, we're in on this now. It's a really good, solid setup. I actually already made money on YGMZ before on this pre-market pump. They closed the offering right in here. Remember, we've already made money. So some people might be like, oh, I lost money on. Well, we already made money on this. This thing went up over 30% pre-market at that 4 a.m. If stocks are moving, remember, if stocks are moving after hours, you better get your butt up at 4 a.m. in the morning, as that's where it's going to make this big move. This already made us money. All right. I mean, we already took our over 10% return, held break even, and then boom, it made that 4 a.m. pump. So we're waiting for that next pump. At any moment, this thing can pump over 100%. No doubt. I'm taking the risk. I'm totally fine with it. And because I know most people have averages way worse than me, and China stocks can make the biggest rally. So I'm willing to take that risk, okay? It had the offering done. It had the reverse split. So YGMZ is the number one. INHD, I'm going to put my money into. I love that stock. That stock has made me a buttload of money every time, pre-market and after hours. I'll show you what that one has done, pre-market and after hours. If you didn't take the gains, I mean, look at this. Right up in here, made a nice little return here. We went there. This one right here kind of stayed out, so you broke even. This one right here is where it made the gains here. We played this one right up in here 5 minutes before the bell, and this thing ran all the way up 40% almost. I mean, we're always taking these 10 to 20%. Look at this. Big move up. We played the after hours bounce, and then 5 minutes before the bell, boom, goes up another 30%. INHD has been a killing thing. I've been rinsing and repeating this thing. Now, I did take a minor loss today because the pre-market I sell at 7:30, and so it went a little lower than where it was. So I took a loss of 10% on that. No big deal. No, not a big problem. And then I got in at a lower average. So I can make that 10% back in a blink of an eye. Not really worried about that. As always, guys, if you guys want to join the Discord, definitely join in. I'll let you guys know in the penny stock or in the penny chat room what are my favorite plays. I'll keep updated. A lot of people ask me questions there. But penny stocks right up in here in the Discord, I'll let you guys know. These are all high-quality alerts that can make you a ton of money. If you always say, oh, I don't want to chase stocks, well, this strategy right here literally condones not chasing stocks. All right? This is how you get in at the bottom and sell to the chasers. All right? Join the Discord if you want to. Click the link down below in YouTube comments below, and in the description, it'll say join the premium Discord for my alerts. It'll take you to this free chat landing page. Make sure you hit how to subscribe down here and hit the big cap day trade alerts. You get access to all my signals for $12 a month. You get access to day trades, swing trades, and then live streams every day. You can't beat the price for only $12 a month. I don't know what you're waiting for. I think it's a steal of a thing. You'll know the exact things that I look to do here. INHD is already starting to move up here a little bit. It's looking golden. YGMZ is already, trying to do something here, coming back from the bottom here. And BSA is this next one here. But yeah, these things right here, like I said, I have called out many, many stocks that I posted in the Discord here at the penny stocks. And just remind me, I'll post here before the day. I'm gonna be like, these are the penny stocks I'm buying, and these are the three that I have. You'll hear from me first in this channel here. But I'm only gonna choose the best setups, all right, that have nice volume, that are massive time distance to that EMA 5, have good range to the EMA 5, which is very important. It's got to have at least 30% return. If it's not giving me 30%, then it's not even worth it. All right. But anyways, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Join the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord, use a computer to subscribe. It will void the iOS fee. They might charge you a currency exchange fee if you're not from the United States, maybe, or taxes, but only 12 bucks a month. You can't beat it. Hit this Big Cat Day Trade Alerts and get the access to the gold membership and watch me stream live every day. And I think you'll love the setup that I do. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys. Happy trading. Give this video a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know down below what's your favorite stock that I mentioned or favorite penny stock so I can take a look at it. Peace out, guys.